We have the power of Spellbooks, Celtic Guardian, and Traptrix. Hey to the 34% of you that did not smash the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it! So you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Man, my hair looks like a wig today. It's actually hilarious. So, first list we have is the Spellbook deck / runic list here. They got 14th place out of its regional, barely missing out on literally the top cut, which is actually not much you can really do about that, unfortunately. So we have one copy of Jaugen, the Spiritualist, triple copies of Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, 2 copies of Lunar Eclipse, 2 copies of Dimensional Fissure. We have 2 copies of Forbidden Droppy. We have 1 copy of Ghost Trick Shot. This is actually a pretty interesting little tech choice that we've got going on here for the Ghost Trick package. We have 1 Instant Fusion with triple copies of Runic Destruction, 1 Flashing Fire with 2 Fountains. We have triple copies of Freezing Curses with 1 Golden Droplet, triple copies of Slumby, 1 Smiting Storm, triple copies of Just the Tip, 1 Eternity, 2 Fate, 1 Spellbook of Judgment, 2 Spellbook of Knowledge, triple copies of Secrets, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Upstart Roblin. Down here in the extract, we have 1 Celine with 1 News Reporter, 1 Lena with 1 Nightmare Griffin, 1 Utopic Future with 1 Utopic Future Draco. We have 1 Succubus, 1 Ghost Trick, 2 Ghost Trick Angel Mischief. We have 1 copy of Moonin, 1 copy of Millennium Eyes, 2 copies of Hugin, 1 copy of Grary, and then 1 copy of Frecky. And then we got triple copies of Spooky Dogwood. Triple copies of Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. This actually was a really interesting tech choice, to say the least. I do like what we're doing here. We have 1 Book of Lunar Eclipse, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Dimensional Fissure, 2 Flashing Fires, and triple copies of everybody's favorite Give Your Opponent a Card and You Don't Destroy My Back Row. Wrapping up, well, your very, very interesting combination hybrid of runic spellbook good stuff. It really does prove that anything can really win out here. Next up is a Celtic Guardian special. Now, the only reason why I'm including this in this video, even though it did so bad, I'm a huge fan of Celtic Guardian. I think that this deck is one of the cheesiest decks that you can mess around with and have fun with. Now, I mean, to be fair, is it going to do amazing? No, obviously, as you see here. But the fact that somebody had the chance to take this to locals, give it a shot, whether or not the performance was up to standard or not, is kind of hilarious at the end of the day. So we have 1 Celtic Guard of Noble Arms, triple copies of the obnoxious Celtic Guardian, triple copies of regular Celtic Guardian. Then you have 1 Celestial with 1 Plasma. We have triple copies of Water Enchantress, 1 Griffin Rider, triple copies of Pot of Extravagance, with 1 Gardemise. We have 1 Rhoda with 1 copy of Heritage of the Chalice. We have triple copies of Rite of Armesier. We have 1 Faithful Adventure, 1 Draco back with triple copies of Fusion Destiny. We have triple copies of Forbidden Droplet with 1 copy of Double or Nothing. We have triple copies of Summon Limit, triple copies of Skill Drain, triple copies of Solemn Judgment, triple copies of Torrential Tribute, 2 copies of Storming Mia Force, 2 copies of Balance of Judgment, and we have 2 copies of Call of the Haunted here, wrapping up your main deck. Down here in the extract, we have 1 Zeus, 1 Exciton Knight with 1 Castel. We have 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 Utopia Lightning, 1 Utopia Prime, 1 Utopia, 1 Double or Nothing Friend, 1 Asa, 1 Unicorn, 1 Borrelsword with 1 Access Code, triple copies of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and then you got 1 Illegal Knight, 1 Macro Cosmo, triple Different Dimension Ground, triple Trap Trick, triple Metaverse, 2 Necro Valley, and 2 copies of Zombie World here, wrapping up your very fun Celtic Guardian deck. And like I said, you like to see these things because they're fun, they're entertaining, and they really do bring some fun light to the game. Next up is Traptrix. Now, this is all pre-starter deck, by the way. What is most interesting about this build is the fact that this duelist was able to kind of step up to the plate here and test out some different variations of this deck. You know, you don't see a lot of Traptrix performing. Actually, like this is a very rare oddity at this point to see that, you know, hey, this deck is stepping up to the plate. Players are trying out some of these ratios here. and it really does show that there are some very little interesting moving pieces happening right now. So I'm very happy to see this. So we have triple copies of Dimension Shifter, because honestly, you're still going to need this card. We have 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. We have 1 copy of Space Rock, triple copies of Parallel Exceed. We have 2 Dianeas with triple copies of Mantis. We have triple copies of Myromelia. 1 copy of the Vesquilio. And we have 1 Called by the Grave, 2 Pot of Prosperities with 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. Yeah, 1 Bottomless does see play. Now we have triple copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device with triple copies of Dimensional Barrier. We have triple copies of Evenly Matched. 1 Floodgate Trap Hole. 1 copy of the Best Trap Hole. We have triple copies of Infinite Permanence, triple copies of the Shade Brigandine, and we have 1 copy of the Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. Down in the extract, we have 2 copies of Sarah with 1 copy of Kularia. We have 1 Link Spidey with 1 Rafflesia Best Girl. We have 1 Time Thief Reader with 1 Lightning, 1 Baguski with 1 Utopia. We have 1 Gallant Granite with 1 Exciton Knight. We have 1 Vespinato, 1 Zeus, 1 Castel, and 1 Abyssal. And then we got triple copies of the forehead of the Absolute Negate. We have triple copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of Anti-Scam Fragrance, triple copies of Mind Crush, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment saying no. Wrapping up your Traptrix list. Very, very straightforward stuff here. And next up here, I almost said this was last. This is a Punk Synchro hybrid. Now, this is actually kind of interesting because I knew that people talked about playing Kashtira with the Punk package. There was always an explanation. A lot of people really did give consideration to this because it gives you synchro lines of play and kind of gives this deck an interesting little way to go about playing itself. Now, whether or not this sticks around as a viable option, it probably won't. But, you know, pre-release of the next set, you definitely get to see some of the ideas here that are being generated. So we have triple copies of Jerusalem, triple copies of Magna Hut, and triple copies of Snoreneer. Then you got 1 copy of Wagam, 1 Madam Spider with triple copies of Fenrir. We have triple copies of Unicorn with triple copies of Magician Souls. We have 2 copies of Deer Note with triple copies of Foxy Tune. We have 2 Xiamen, 1 copy of the Shirokatsai, 1 Illusion of Chaos with triple copies of Emergency Teleport, 2 copies of Birth. We have 1 Jam Extreme Session, 2 Talents, triple copies of Imperm, and 1 copy of the Dangerous Gabu. And then down here in the extract, you have 1 Dahark with 1 Soldier of Chaos with 1 Willow. We have 1 Diabolus the Mind Hacker, 1 Zeus with 1 Dingrisu. We have 1 Punk Amazing Dragon. We have 1 Xing Ying with 1 copy of the Scarlight, 1 copy of Psychic and Punisher, with 1 Jam Dragon Drive, 1 Herald of the Arclight, 1 Draco Berserker, 1 Baron de Fleur, and 1 copy of the Rising Carp. They got triple copies of Spooky Dogwood, triple Space Rock, triple Dark Ruler No More, triple Lightning Storm, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up another interesting take for multiple combined engines that you can actually find success with out here. Not too bad. And next up here, we have more Punk stuff. Hey, how are you? This time, we're basically just comboing up for more synchro package stuff. I do think it's very interesting, though, to see that, like, faith is being restored in the Punk package here as more and more people are kind of looking to, you know, hey, a free draw 2 is actually pretty good because that draws you into buy steel cards. It really just more hand trap options overall for a deck like this. So we have triple copies of Ash, Blossom, and Joy Spring. We have 2 copies of Jerusalem. We have triple copies of Magna Hut with 1 Snoreneer. We have 1 copy of DD Crow with 1 Wagon. We have 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. We have 2 copies of Gizmekarochi. We have 1 copy of the Madam Spider with 1 Magician Souls. We have 1 copy of the Mythic Water Dragon. That's interesting. We have 2 copies of Deer Note, triple Foxy Tune, triple copies of Ogre Dance, triple copies of Xiamen, and we have 2 copies of Shirokatsai, 1 Illusion of Chaos, 1 Called by the Grave, triple Emergency Teleport, triple Extreme Session, 2 Preparation Rites. We have triple Imperm, 1 Dangerous Gabu, and 1 Nashiwari Surprise. Then you got 1 Zeroboros, 1 Unicorn, 1 Dahark, 1 Wollo, 1 Pain Gainer with 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 Zeus, 1 Dingrisu, 2 Amazing Dragon with 1 Psyche and Punisher, 1 Jamming Drive, 2 Jamming Drive, 1 Herald, and 1 Rising Carp. Then you got triple Skullmeister, Triple copies of Dark Willow No More, 2 anti-scam, 2-dimensional bear, or you get 2 different dimension grounds, 2-dimensional bear, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up, honestly, your chunk of interesting deck profiles. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.